Hi everyone, I'm going to make a brief video today from my car. We worked at school and then some of us are working at home, and I often work in my car for various reasons. So I'm going to give you a quick little overview of some good things to do for early childhood math. Maybe you're thinking, oh, I hated math as a child. I know right now in my house, we're working on middle school math and some high school math, and I can tell you they are not my favorite. However, they are very useful, and we want to build a positive opinion of math even when kids are really little. And don't worry, early childhood math needs no experience in algebra and geometry. You'll be amazed at the things that you do every day that are really math concepts. All right, don't mind my very low budget bulletin board here, but I'm going to take you through just some areas that maybe you wouldn't even consider math, or some things you're not quite sure what they mean, so that you can speak intelligibly to parents. But also a follow-up video in the coming days will be some ideas for activities. All right, here we go. Colors. Identifying and recognizing colors is a very simple math activity. We talk about colors very early in early childhood and build on them as they get older. Measuring, you might think, oh, we need to learn how to use a ruler and a centimeter and a beaker, but actually just labeling things as big and little and tall and short are the foundations for measuring. And we'll move up to measuring things with non-standard measurements, like finding out how many paper clips tall you are. This is sorting. Kids naturally do some really cool sorting things, and we can encourage them with some open-ended questions. Sorting objects is putting the same sames together. All the red shoes in a pile, all the forks in a pile, all the trucks in a pile, everything purple in a pile. That is sorting. So many ways to sort. Rote counting. Rote counting is simply counting out loud. So without any objects around, when kids say 1, 2, 3, they are rote counting. When you count out loud and we count to 19 in line, and I count my friends and I say, oh, I hope I have 19 friends, and I count all the way out loud to 19, I am rote counting. Patterns, again, start so simply by noticing things. Oh, look at that. Billy Bob has a red shirt and Susie Q has a blue shirt. And then Miss Jen has a red shirt and Miss Tiffany has a blue shirt. Red, blue, red, blue. Or pointing out things on their clothes is a really good way to start noticing patterns. And as they get older, we are able to identify and replicate patterns. Subitizing. Subitizing is an older early childhood skill, and that happens in preschool and pre-K, and that is when kids can look at a quantity of objects and just be able to say how many are there. Like when they roll a die and there are three dots on the side, instead of needing to touch and count each one, they could look at the die and say, oh, that's 3. Shapes. 3D shapes later in pre-K, but starting out at 2D shapes. 2D shapes being things that are flat. Rectangle, square, circle, triangle. I had a brain freeze there. And moving on to things like stars and ovals and hearts. Identifying the name of the shapes, being able to categorize the shapes. These things are all triangles. Later on in life, being able to make some shapes. But so many fun art projects you can do with stamping shapes before they're able to make them themselves. And here we go to one-to-one correspondence. This is when kids touch and count objects. They touch and count how many cars are in their line. They touch and count how many crayons are on the table. So this is just an overview. Rote counting, sorting, colors, shapes, one-to-one, patterns, subitizing, measuring. This is an overview of some skills we do in early childhood with math. But don't worry, they're easier than you think. What ideas do you guys have for ways that you use math in the classroom, from infants all the way up, just by the ways you talk and also by the ways you play in the classroom? How are you already using math? More ideas to come.